Time for coffee. Talk presented by Spotify. Fresh vibes, real talk.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee Talk in the Morning radio show presented by Spotify. We hope everyone had a great weekend. Okay, Dave, so here's something to chew on. Intel just surged over 10% in a single day because they're going to start making chips for Apple right here in the U.S. That's not just a stock market story. It's a shift in how tech giants are thinking about supply chains.
That's a huge move. And it's not just about the numbers, it's about reshaping the semiconductor industry, which has been so reliant on overseas manufacturing for decades. This could be a game changer.
Exactly. And it's not just Intel. NVIDIA and Micron Technology also had strong days, with NVIDIA up 3% and Micron jumping nearly 9%. The whole semiconductor sector seems to be riding this wave of optimism.
But then there's SpaceX, which had a rough couple of days, down 3.6% on Thursday after a 4.9% drop the day before. For a company with so much hype, that's a tough start on the stock market.
It really is. You'd think a company like SpaceX, with its cutting-edge technology and high-profile leadership, would have a smoother debut. But the market can be unpredictable, especially for companies that are hard to value.
And speaking of unpredictability, oil prices were all over the place this week. The U.S.-Iran agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz is a massive geopolitical development. It's going to have ripple effects across the energy sector.
No doubt. Brent crude ended the day slightly higher, while U.S. benchmark crude fell just a bit, and energy companies like ExxonMobil and Chevron took hits, both falling over 2%. But on the flip side, airlines and cruise lines saw gains. American Airlines, United Airlines, Carnival, they all had a good day.
That makes sense. Lower oil prices are a big win for industries like airlines and cruise lines, where fuel costs are a major expense. It's like a domino effect. One sector's loss is another's gain.
And then there's the broader economic picture. Inflation is still a major concern, and the Federal Reserve is clearly wrestling with how to handle it. Their decision to hold interest rates steady for now, but signal a potential hike by year's end, is telling.
It really is. They're trying to walk this fine line between curbing inflation and supporting employment growth. It's not an easy balancing act, especially with inflation being driven by so many factors: higher shipping costs, rising energy prices. Even though gas prices have dipped below $4 a gallon, they're still significantly higher than this time last year.
Right, and that's putting pressure on consumers and businesses alike. It's interesting how the Fed's shift in tone about interest rates caused bond yields to jump on Wednesday. Though they did ease a bit on Thursday, the yield on the 10-year Treasury fell to 4.45%, and the 2-year Treasury yield dropped slightly as well.
It's fascinating how interconnected all these elements are. Stocks, bonds, oil, inflation, they all feed into each other. And then you add in the global context with mixed markets in Europe and Asia, and it becomes this intricate web of cause and effect.
And that's what makes it so interesting to follow. Every decision, every announcement, every geopolitical event has the potential to shift the market in unexpected ways.
Exactly. And it's not just about the numbers, it's about the stories behind them, like Intel's partnership with Apple, the U.S.-Iran agreement, or the Fed's balancing act. Those are the narratives that really bring the market to life.
Well said. And, it's worth noting how resilient the market can be. Even in the face of uncertainty and volatility, there's always the potential for recovery and growth. It's a dynamic system, constantly evolving.
Couldn't agree more. And it'll be interesting to see how things unfold next week, especially with the Fed's potential rate hike looming and the ongoing developments in the energy sector.
No doubt, it's never a dull moment on Wall Street. So, what do you think was the most surprising storyline from this week?
Honestly, I think the U.S.-Iran agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz caught a lot of people off guard. It's a huge geopolitical shift, and it's going to have long-term implications for the global energy market.
Agreed. It's not every day you see two countries with such a contentious history come to an agreement like this. And the fact that it directly impacts a fifth of the world's oil supply makes it even more significant.
And then there's the question of what this means for Iran's nuclear program. That uncertainty is going to keep investors on edge for a while. It's like Adam Turnquist said in his research note, uncertainty remains elevated around potential flare-ups and the path forward.
Right. And that uncertainty extends to the broader market as well. The Fed's stronger signal for an eventual rate hike is another layer of complexity. It's a reminder that the market is always in flux, influenced by a myriad of factors.
And that's what makes it so compelling to follow. It's not just about the numbers, it's about understanding the stories and the dynamics behind them. That's where the real intrigue lies.
Absolutely. So, any final thoughts as we wrap up?
I'd say this week was a great example of how resilient and dynamic the market can be, even in the face of uncertainty and volatility. There's always the potential for recovery and growth. It's a reminder that the market isn't just a collection of data points, it's a reflection of human behavior, decisions, and reactions.
Well said. And with that, I think we'll leave it there. It's been a fascinating week, and I'm sure next week will bring its own set of surprises. Until then, thanks for tuning in.
Okay, so get this. Toy Story 5 just had the biggest opening weekend of the year, raking in $160 million domestically. That's not just impressive, it's a reminder of how this franchise, after 31 years, still has a hold on audiences everywhere.
It's incredible, isn't it? And when you add the international numbers, $152 million, it's a global total of $312 million in just 3 days. That's a massive debut for any movie, let alone the fifth installment of a series.
What's wild is that it's not just about nostalgia anymore. Sure, the original Toy Story came out in 1995 and it's a cornerstone of so many childhoods, but this franchise has managed to stay relevant by evolving with the times. This new storyline about Bonnie getting a tablet and the toys feeling sidelined, it's such a modern take.
Exactly! It's a theme that resonates with both kids and adults. Parents are probably watching this and thinking about how technology has changed their own family dynamics. And then you've got the returning voice cast. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Joan Cusack. It's like hearing from old friends.
Oh, absolutely. And adding Taylor Swift to the mix with her new song, I Knew It, I Knew You, was a genius move. It's like they're pulling in every demographic imaginable. Kids love the toys, adults love the nostalgia, and Swifties are showing up for the music.
It's such a smart strategy. And let's not forget the director, Andrew Stanton. He's a Pixar veteran who's been behind some of their biggest hits like Finding Nemo and WALL-E. You just know the storytelling is going to be top-notch when he's involved.
That's what makes Pixar so special. They don't just make movies, they create experiences. Even though Toy Story 3 felt like the perfect ending, they've managed to extend the story in ways that feel fresh and meaningful. That's not easy to do with a franchise that's been around for over 3 decades.
And it's not just the storytelling, it's the business side too. Before Toy Story 5 even came out, the franchise had already grossed over $3 billion worldwide. Add in the merchandising, and it's one of Disney's most profitable properties ever.
It's a juggernaut, no doubt about it, but making these movies isn't cheap. Toy Story 5 had a production budget of $250 million, and that doesn't even include marketing. So it's a big gamble, but clearly it's paying off.
Oh, for sure, and the reviews have been fantastic. An A cinema score is no small feat. It means audiences are loving it, and that kind of word of mouth is going to keep people coming back to theaters week after week.
Meanwhile, other films are struggling to keep up. Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day had a solid opening last weekend, but it dropped 61% in its second weekend, bringing in $17 million. That's not the kind of hold Universal was hoping for.
Yeah, but it's not all bad news for Disclosure Day. It's made $160.4 million globally in 2 weeks, which isn't terrible. With a $115 million budget, it still has a chance to turn a profit. Plus, it's positioned as the top and adult-oriented option in theaters right now, so it might have some staying power.
True, but then you've got movies like The Death of Robin Hood that are just tanking. A $2.6 million opening on 1,762 screens. That's rough.
It really is. And it's a shame because Hugh Jackman is such a draw and Michael Sarnowski is a talented director. But when the reviews are mixed and the audience gives it a C+ cinema score, it's hard to recover from that.
And then there's Leviticus, which did slightly better with $2.7 million on 1,076 screens. It's a low-budget horror film, so the expectations were different, but it's still facing stiff competition from other horror hits like Obsession and Backrooms.
Speaking of Obsession, can we take a moment to appreciate what a phenomenon that movie has become? A micro-budget film that cost less than $1 million to make, and it's already grossed $333.3 million globally. That's the kind of success story filmmakers dream about.
It's incredible, and it's not just a flash in the pan either. In its sixth weekend, it nearly matched its $17 million opening weekend. That kind of staying power is rare, especially for a horror film.
And it's helping drive the summer box office, which is up 15% from 2025. Ticket sales are nearly equal to 2019 levels, which is impressive when you consider how much the industry has had to adapt post-pandemic.
Paul Dergarabedian from Rentrack made an interesting point about this summer being a hybrid of big franchise films and eclectic original movies. It's like Hollywood is experimenting with a new blueprint for success.
Yeah, and it seems to be working. You've got the heavy hitters like Toy Story 5, but also these unexpected successes like Obsession, and even original films like Disclosure Day. It's a mix that's keeping audiences engaged.
It's a fascinating time for the industry, for sure. And looking at the top 10 movies by domestic box office this weekend, it's clear that there's something for everyone. From family-friendly fare to horror to sci-fi, the variety is impressive.
It really is. And it's exciting to see how audiences are responding. Whether it's the nostalgia of Toy Story or the thrill of a micro-budget horror hit, people are showing up. And that's a win for everyone. Filmmakers, studios, and moviegoers alike.
Absolutely. Here's to more weekends like this one.
Made in Georgia.
We bringin' good energy.
This has been Coffee Talk presented by Spotify. From our cast, we thank you for listening.
Yeah.